And here we are, folks, in the upper right now. In the blue, he is for Berserker Esports. You know him, or we've talked about him. He is ShaDoWn.
And his opponent, spotting down to the bottom left, it is the German Protoss player. Give it up for GunGFuBanDa. Now, this is going to be a really, really cool match. It is important to note that ShaDoWn, not a single one of his losses was a 2-0. He took a map in every single loss that he suffered. So he took a map versus Showtime. He took a map versus Rattata. And I believe it was, I think he lost to Art in, was it Art? Yes. No, he beat Art. Who did he lose to his other match? Quickly, Goblin. Yeah, he took a match versus map versus Goblin as well, and realistically probably should have won that series. Yeah, there we go. We got that scorecard on the side. We see that once again he is in third place, and with a win here, he locks the playoffs up.
And GunGFu, though, he needs a little bit more than just winning the game here, although that does start as, hey, look at this. We talk about ShaDoWn being this crisp, aggressive player. Well, we're going to have to see just how crisp and aggressive this timing is, because there's a pylon on the bottom side, and not only is it a pylon steadfast, it's a pylon where the probe stays around. No Schrodinger's pylon for this man. He actually has a plan, and it's going to be Stargate. Okay, so not the most committed version of aggression. I mean, you want to get something done, but it's not like he's dropping a Gateway or a Twilight or something truly crazy back down there.
Yeah, no, he's not, but GunGFuBanDa is going to know that the second pylon is missing. Unfortunately for GunGFu, I don't believe he was at the gateways when he could have seen if it was, you know, the first two units being produced. Because ShaDoWn, he started not producing units. He put all of his resources immediately into that Stargate, and a little bit of a misstep from GunGFu not being there to see that that's the case. As a result, ShaDoWn is going to have this Stargate very, very quickly. GunGFuBanDa, does he find it? This is a really common proxy location. Oh, and he's looking around for it. He hasn't seen it yet.
No, and he doesn't have anything pathing over there either, which is a bit of an issue. He says, yeah, I'm going to look close, but not close enough. And of course, the thing that GunGFuBanDa has in his head right now is, okay, well, there's not that second pylon, but, you know, maybe we're not in the meta right now, but we've certainly have been in the meta before where people just drop a pylon on the map regardless. But here we go. Stargate is done. ShaDoWn, actually, he has his Oracle slightly faster in this game. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. I can't read the map. ShaDoWn, he's got an Oracle right here, and he's going to look to fly in. There's actually no shield battery in this base. GunGFuBanDa, his entire army is on the other side of the map, steadfast. He's going to have to spend a recall. A little bit of miss micro there as the Oracles are not shift queued down, so only 4 workers go down. Probably should have bet about 6. But even still, nice opening there for ShaDoWn. I feel like he needs, or he wants at least just a little bit more, though.
Oh, I mean, he's going to be very happy with what he's done so far. This is and he even sees his opponent's Oracle as it comes out of his base. That is so big right here. This is a phenomenal start for ShaDoWn right here. And this all comes down to the fact that GunGFuBanDa didn't see how early that Stargate could have been, because he didn't realize that ShaDoWn had cut units. He didn't realize that, and he wasn't prepared for this. And now the Oracle on the other side of the map going to try and get some equalizing damage. Finds 1 probe. That is not enough to equalize things. This is a great start for ShaDoWn. He's going to be really happy with how this has gone so far.
Oh, he absolutely is. And he's also going to get a great scout. He says, okay, that's maybe a little bit more stalkers than I would have expected. So he sees the Twilight. He sees, okay, maybe there are 6 stalkers in the main base, are not exactly what you need to defend Oracle's steadfast. Well, maybe with 2. But he does see the Twilight. He does see the timing of the natural. Sees that actually there are no probes on the natural. And the moment that GunGFuBanDa decides to maybe move it into a different spot with these stalkers, well, 2 Oracles, they zap down a bunch of probes. And they're going to get 1. No, they're not. Never mind. He thought about it. He turned the beams on. There's that.
Yeah, a little bit of nerves, I guess. Maybe he could have clicked it down. He had the opportunity to. But maybe just a little bit of jitter showing. Just a little bit. Sometimes, I've found that sometimes it can be very difficult to just, click accurately when you're under the gun. Oh, this Oracle for GunGFu almost going down. 1 shot left. Not even able to get the probe right there. That would have been really costly for GunGFuBanDa if he'd lost that. ShaDoWn, though, he is he is absolutely cruising in this game right now. He is in a really comfortable spot. 4 workers isn't a lot, but he's got the quicker third Nexus. The blink is similarly timed. You pointed out that he's got this double Oracle, so if GunGfu ever wants to move out, he's got to be mindful that there could just be, you know, a bunch of dead probes if he is not prepared for the counterattack.
Oh, that's absolutely true. And I love what he's doing here with his stasis traps as well. He's not using them defensively. Oh my. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh my goodness, that is beautiful.
Oh no, he's going to catch him too.
Oh no.
And here I was about to talk about, oh man, I love what ShaDoWn's doing with his tempo play. I mean, you know, it's 3 odd workers, but anyway, Blink Micro here in the middle of the map, right around that third base. ShaDoWn's going to be trying to bait GunGFuBanDa into the stasis, but will not be able to for now. Third base stays alive for the moment. Oracle not getting too much more, it looks like. It's interesting to see ShaDoWn. Oh, there's the stasis. Oh yeah, he absolutely wins this fight now. No static defense just yet. Stalkers have to blink backwards. One will fall. And now there's a second here as well. Oracle Revelate says, I'm doing my job. I'm helping. Don't you know that I'm helping? But it's really not helping all that much, as now the static defense does start to fall here. ShaDoWn will have to run away once those stalkers come off stasis. In fact, he's kind of staying a little bit too long, but he should be able to get out with at least most of these stalkers. But no, he's going to have to take a fighting retreat here, and it looked good. Really, the fight at the front at the end of the day, not the best for ShaDoWn, but 10 probes go down to the main base, and that absolutely makes you feel better so long as you're not worried about just dying right now to this stalker force.
I mean, he does have to be a little bit worried about that. He is down 3 stalkers. He's so far ahead. If he just manages to rally out enough units to not die pretty much right here, which he should be fine to do that. But this is kind of what he's talking about a little bit, where he gets a little bit over-aggressive, tries to get a little bit too fancy. He puts himself in an even better position. Nice Blink 4 does snap off one of those stalkers, and the battery overcharge will cover him. But he really didn't need to be that aggressive, you know? Like, he still would have gotten the probe damage, and he could have retreated out with the stalkers. But instead, he tried to take that fight at the same time, and GunGFuBanDa, I mean, he's given an opportunity in a game where he really shouldn't have one.
Okay, I'm not sure I would call this a true opportunity. He had that very slim timing. But there's also the argument to be made that maybe the Oracles don't get quite as much damage done if there is not that heavy pressure at the third base to just distract GunGFuBanDa. Because, you know, Steadfast, there's only so much time you have, only so much screen space you have in a game of StarCraft to make sure that you are able to handle everything appropriately. We talk about players like Clem who are like, oh, they're microing on 2 fronts. They're not really. They're just microing on one screen then the other, and they're doing back and forth really quickly. So, yeah, GunGFuBanDa, maybe he didn't have, maybe the reason that got 10 more workers and really catapulted ShaDoWn ahead was simply because GunGFuBanDa did not have the APM or the attention required to deal with the Oracles and the push at the third. But Steadfast, ShaDoWn's tempo play is fantastic. He's already got a 4th base halfway done.
He certainly does, and now he's making this economic lead kind of felt as he moves forward with more and more Blink stalkers. This is not really. I actually don't know that you can hold these down 10 stalkers. Is GunGFuBanDa? Oh, and even a gateway getting killed off right there. Yeah, GunGFuBanDa. He is. I would say pretty effectively out of this game, barring a pretty massive blunder from ShaDoWn. And ShaDoWn even taking this nice high ground position in the natural expansion where, you know, GunGFuBanDa has to attack up into him. This is getting ugly.
And Steadfast, in order to hold, he needs 3 hands. Unfortunately, GunGFuBanDa, he's only a human, so he only gets to hold with 2. And that's a bit of a problem. But actually, ShaDoWn backing up just a little bit, rotating around. I really like that spot he was in, sectioning off the natural and the third. But I guess he's just very much in a win more idea right now. So many DTs on the map. Eventually, Blink is coming in as well. And he's just being oppressive. He says, yeah, you know, if this game goes long, there's no way I lose. So why give myself maybe a 3% chance to lose now? Now the army of GunGFuBanDa trying to find its way on in, charging in. But the upgrades are the same. The supply is just lesser, so it really doesn't do all that much for you there, GunGFuBanDa. Nice try, but he's going to have to retreat back once again to a static defense.
Yeah, he certainly will. There is going to be no blink on these DTs at the moment, but he might still just be able to click that cannon down, and he is certainly going to do so. That's okay. That's going to be a lot of dead probes. Boom, here comes the damage. And ShaDoWn, once again, getting quite fancy right here. He is going to get kind of forced back from the third. But, I mean, he is, like you said, he is doing the Artosis thing, but in a much more dynamic way of when you're ahead, get more ahead.
Well, I guess with the amount of a head he's getting, he's going to have 2 heads pretty soon. Stalker's there on the left trying to find something. But it really does feel like right now, it almost is this game of ShaDoWn's not trying to just win this game, he's trying to win the next one too. So just make the game feel so hopeless for GunGFuBanDa that he's almost trying to force one of those really anticlimactic GGs of, GunGFuBanDa starting to realize that you haven't killed me necessarily, but yeah, there we go. The whole, I guess I just can't win anymore. It's not some climactic fight. ShaDoWn takes the 1-0, and that looked pretty damn strong.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really great point, and that's something I didn't really take into account. That is the kind of thing that you've talked about it a lot. We've talked about it a lot. Mental damage. That is a mentally, that sucks. That is a rough loss. You do not feel good about a loss like that.
Yeah, that very much felt like, it really did feel like ShaDoWn was playing with his food for the last 5 minutes of that game. The whole, I could kill you now, but I'm going to get another base. Oh, I could kill you. No, I'm going to get DTs in your natural. Oh, I could kill you now. I don't even need the blink to kill your cannons and not wipe out your entire mineral line, to the point where you're slapping them so hard that eventually they cry uncle and they say, no, enough is enough. It was not some climactic fight. And who knows? We got to give pro players a lot of credit here for their mental state, for their resilience coming back in series. It is not often that we see one game truly bleeding into another. But, man, if there is a game that bleeds into a second one, it's a game like that.
It certainly is. That one leaves a mark on your soul. Now, GunGFuBanDa never crumbled, which is important to note. Like, he never really fell apart, but it was a demoralizing, long, painful death animation for him. And almost that little bit of hope with that Stalker counterattack almost makes it more bitter. Almost a tougher pill to swallow, because then you don't have time to really go over the replay, and you're just wondering, you're like, did I have a chance? And leaves this acidic feeling in your stomach. But let's get into game.
All right, let's do that. In the upper right now, in the red, he's down 1. Can he come back from, it was a hard game. He is for Synthex, GunGFuBanDa.
And his opponent, spawning down on the bottom left for Berserker Esports, it is ShaDoWn. Telling his opponent to sit down.
You beat me to it.
We are seeing, by the way, wait, is GunGFuBanDa, this is a normal scout timing from GunGFuBanDa. A little bit of a late scout coming out of ShaDoWn right here. Kind of interesting. ShaDoWn did vary up his scout timings versus showtime, and that was part of the reason why he was able to experience as much success as he did. I mean, he played a masterful series. If you haven't seen that series, I highly recommend it. As much as I can recommend a PvP, and to be fair, I actually really love PvP. Like, commentating it is a very interesting thing for me. But it was just such a good series, and it's cool to see ShaDoWn doing that once again. And actually, he's got cruel intentions once again.
It's kind of funny. I very much expected to see him proxy the pylon in game 2 because he proxied it in game 1, but I didn't expect him to proxy a structure in game 2 because it's one of those, series training. You say, yes, opponent, I'm doing this crazy thing, so you have to be extra afraid. It's almost maybe a little bit too prescribed, but no, 3-gate. ShaDoWn is really trying to capitalize on this. He does not want to give time for GunGFuBanDa's spine to regrow, for him to be able to do all the push-ups and sit-ups and calisthenics required to climb his way out of that pit on a broken rope. He says, no, I'm going to crush you right now. I'm going to kill your city right now when the spark of hope is just barely flaring.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit of a brutal, visceral image, but it's a valid one. Oh, okay, he did see the probe. I was going to say, I was checking his vision that whole time, and he did not lose track of that probe. Very fortunate. That would have been annoying to ShaDoWn, if he knows that there's nothing here, if he knows that there's no Nexus, maybe he doesn't actually commit for the attack. I think he's probably going to go for it regardless. But, I mean, it's good that GunGFuBanDa at least picks that off. This is not a bad situation for him. He gets a shield battery. He gets up a blink upgrade. Blink not going to help him for a while, but if he can survive up to it, he's going to be in a good spot. Yeah,
Steadfast, it's just Chekhov's gateway. You know, the gateway slapped down at the 2:30 mark should be used in the game by the 3:34 minute mark. I mean, that I don't make the rules. That's just how it is. But here come the stalkers of ShaDoWn, and actually GunGFuBanDa going down the ramp a little bit. That's a little bit dicier, but we do have static defense on the high ground, and shield battery overcharge is a powerful thing. It is a reason why, for the most part, we see less and less and less of these builds. But ShaDoWn, he is pretty content to move on with things. The first poke doesn't really work, so Robo is going to be the name of the game behind this one. Natural base is going to be the name of the game. So as long as ShaDoWn can feel comfortable in his contain, he's going to be okay. But GunGFuBanDa says, yeah, I see your 3-gate, and I'll raise you one. 4-gate with a blink. How about them apples?
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very bold move, and I think ShaDoWn has a good read of his opponent. I think he thinks that this is a good opportunity, like there's a really good opportunity this will happen, because he's getting that very quick robotics facility. He is going to need to chrono boost out Immortals as quickly as possible. Oh, this is an amazing scout here for GunGFuBanDa. Seeing that there is a robotics facility built, and seeing that there's a Nexus at the natural, he's going to know that his opponent is going for this. Oh, very aggressive blink down to the low ground as ShaDoWn moves out of position. Force field going to be very ineffective. Guardian shield going to help GunGFuBanDa out a lot, and the recall is so late for ShaDoWn. Will save a couple of stalkers, but he just lost 5 stalkers, 2 sentries for just 2 stalkers of his opponent. That battle report showing a very, very rough situation for ShaDoWn.
Steadfast, I'm starting to hear the rough choral music. The sunlight's coming out of the pit. The hope has not broken GunGFuBanDa in this game. Now it's a 4-gate blink. Again, sure, maybe Immortals are great, but are they this great right now? It's an 11 army supply lead. He's got the... Oh, no!
Oh,
no!
What? Yeah. That was such a golden opportunity. Oh, it was hidden for so long. Oh, he still has a really big... Oh, nice job. Picks off that one stalker that was warping in. Battery overcharge not being used just yet. Good job from ShaDoWn getting back to the high ground. And you know what? ShaDoWn, he takes a really good start to this fight, pulling probes in order to stiffen his army's strength. Still has that battery overcharge available. Actually, no, he chrono boosted, so he doesn't have battery overcharge available until he gets another 10 energy on his natural Nexus. Still, ShaDoWn, he's got another shield battery with full energy. I'm not feeling so confident for GunGfu to win this game, and neither is he. He's going to expand.
Oh, and look how he's positioning that Immortal as well on the ramp, making sure he can rotate high ground, low ground as needed. Now, we'll turn out that he needs it on the low ground. He doesn't need to repower that shield battery, but also look how far back GunGFuBanDa is keeping his sentry. We actually don't even see it on the map right now, or on the screen right now, because he knows he needs that for the hallucination to eventually blink into the main base. And ShaDoWn is going to look for it. He says, okay, the sentry is still there. I see where it is. That is incredibly important to me. And with these 3 Immortals, GunGFuBanDa cannot really take the fight at the front anymore. Yes, blink is good, Steadfast, but shield batteries, Immortals, you put those 2 together, and that is a stiff force indeed to deal with. So, as you said, natural is now done. ShaDoWn down 2 workers as, again, GunGFuBanDa keeps poking on forward. But somehow, in a game that opened with 3-gate versus 4-gate blink, we've kind of stabilized into a 2-base setup.
Yeah, we certainly have. Oh, wow. GunGFuBanDa, what the read right there. Looking around at a very fortunate timing, recognizing that this is, I guess, a ShaDoWn special. Oh, nice micro. Does save that one probe as well. Yep, keeps them both alive. Meanwhile, a little bit of a poke forward. We are going to see the... Oh, look at that. He ferried the sentry forward to drop a force field. Doesn't end up being that effective, and really not effective at all, but a very cool move nonetheless, and a nice attempt.
Absolutely. So now the stalkers of GunGFuBanDa, they're going to find they're going to depower the gateway. Don't need to kill it just yet. Just the mental damage of you go click and you try to warp in from all your gateways and you warp in all but one and you feel very sad. ShaDoWn, though, feels very confident in this game. He's got his 3rd base on the way before even his Twilight is done. That's a decent concave there from GunGFuBanDa. Now, it's always, you look at the supply and you're like, okay, well, you know, Immortals are strong. Are they this strong, though? And it looks like they are going to be for now. GunGFuBanDa having to back up. And the key thing, the sentry's dead. So no detection, no vision, actually, into the high ground just now. ShaDoWn, he's going to rotate on over. Oh, GunGFuBanDa, he does not want to go up that ramp. Loses another Stalker. And despite this blink advantage... Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, there's an Observer out. Robo as well. So GunGFuBanDa does still have that blink potential. But GunGFuBanDa, again, he's just losing Stalkers here or there. ShaDoWn doing an excellent job defensively. War Prism goes down, though. Now there's no way to save these Immortals. This is a bit of a problem. One goes down. He's going to target the second one down here as well. There we go. Hard shield down. He could go. Yeah, he's going to blink back into a third one. Goes down here. The army supply of ShaDoWn is absolutely crumbling. There is nothing really to do for him anymore. There's another Immortal coming out soon. But ShaDoWn getting far too greedy in this game. The concept of a third base when you do not have the tech to defend it, I mean, it's greedy. It did not work. Another Immortal falls. And now we're seeing a similar situation from game one where GunGFuBanDa is in a fantastic position and he will be able to go and most likely take this game, much like ShaDoWn in game one. But this time, unlike the last, it's not going to be playing with your food for a while. GunGFuBanDa, that killer instinct, he's going to take this game. Game two goes the way of the German, and it is one game for all the marbles.
It certainly is. GunGFuBanDa still not really in control of his destiny. He doesn't want to... He still has a chance, but he needs to, he needs to win, straight up. ShaDoWn, I mean, he's going to be feeling the pressure. This is probably, up until this point, the biggest game of his career. Mm-hmm. This is it. This is, if you win, you are through. If you lose, you are relying on some very specific instances to get you through. He needs actually no Rattata has already won his series versus Forjumi, which means he would pass ShaDoWn. Oh boy, yeah, he would need Art to lose to Goblin as well. Yeah, this is, you want to win. You want to win. GunGFuBanDa, unfortunately for him, has been eliminated here, and I don't know if he's taken a look at the stats. If he's taken a look at the standings, if he has, might deflate him a little bit. But if I were him, I would not even be thinking about that. That should be the last thing on your mind. You focus on your match, and then you go from there. Oh,
absolutely. This is anything other than how can I beat my opponent in game three? You should not be looking at it. Do not check Liquipedia mid-series because Steadfast, even if you say you don't qualify, the difference between, say, 5th and 6th place is money. It is prize pool. It is EPT points. All of these things that are valuable as we look at moving into Atlanta. You want to have maybe a better slot. A better slot in qualifiers makes something easier, whatever it is going to be. Because GunGFuBanDa now, he will have to go through qualifiers. He does not get that guaranteed seed into the Atlanta regionals. But even still, more money is always better. It's in this situation, it is not more money equals more problems.
No, certainly it is not. With a win here, he could actually pass. I think he could pass Art potentially if Art loses. This is a big money match for him at the very least. Like I think this could be worth as much as like $800. It's already worth $200 on its own, but it could be the difference between him finishing. Actually, this could be, what is that? 400. Could be theoretically as worth as much as like $1,000. Actually, this, depending on how the math works, it's a little bit weird, but like this at minimum, it's worth 200. At most, it's worth like 1,000. If I'm not going to do all the math, but at the very least, this is a valuable map 3. We can say that for absolute certainty for GunGFuBanDa. And I mean, ShaDoWn, it's worth a lot more than that if he gets to the playoffs.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah. Playoffs are where the big money is. Playoffs are where the big everything is. And we're going to have to see, does ShaDoWn make it? Does he finally qualify into that playoffs that have been evading him for so long? Does GunGFuBanDa play spoiler? It all will be determined here. Berlingrad, that short map, is going to be our final map in this series. It's win or go home for ShaDoWn. Game 3. And in the bottom right now, in the blue, he's tied up in the series. He looks so damn good in game 1, but game 2 didn't quite go his way for Berserker Esports. ShaDoWn.
And his opponent spawning up in the top left for Benthex. It is the German Protoss player GunGFuBanDa. one of the more fun names, I think, in all of StarCraft 2. You know, just a fun name.
Hey, I just appreciate how their logo is similar enough to your logo, right? They both got that red crest.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. It's you know, similar Spartan-esque, Spartan-esque, yeah. But he's got a Spartan S, is is what it is. Very, very simple, classic logo. Once again, ShaDoWn's not going to proxy for a third. Okay, this time, it's a fake proxy pylon. Ooh,
oh man,
okay, I like this a lot.
The training. You know, he said it with the clicker. Is like at this point, GunGFuBanDa is going to see it. He's going to start drooling for his food. He's like, oh yeah, there we go, there we go.
Training the chemicals, yeah, getting them all riled up. The thing that's funny is that because GunGFuBanDa wasn't looking at ShaDoWn's gateways at all, there's no benefit to him delaying his first 2 gateway units to make this look like it really is a proxy. So I think he might have been planning to do that, but GunGFuBanDa wasn't looking for that tell. And, you know, he's just going to look around. He's actually going to find this fake proxy.
Oh, man. He doesn't find the real proxies, but he does find the fake one. That feels so funny, bad for ShaDoWn. He's like, I've spent so much effort. I've lost a game trying to train you to have a certain reaction, and then you just don't have that reaction anyways.
Oh, wait, no.
Oh, did he not see it?
You missed it. He changed his path. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We're good. Okay. It's all okay after all.
Oh my God, that's actually so funny because he's gonna cross that spot off of his like mental checklist. Oh my God, that is too funny. Okay, but he sees the Stargate at home. Oh. Okay, he's chilling.
The Adepts almost scouted that pylon, by the way, on the way to the other side. So that's gonna be the interesting spot to be for that block. But I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter too much, and Stalkers are going to be able to get themselves a free Adept now because the Adepts are waiting around saying, let me kill the shield battery, as if that is ever going to happen, Steadfast. It's not, by the way. For those of you at home, you can do it with 4 Adepts if you do something weird, or like the 6-8 Adept timing that we used to see for a while. But wait, he got in. Okay, 2 workers go down. It's going to be 3. I thought we were in a good spot here. And does he get a 4th? He will, actually, because he got the damage on the probe before the shield battery finished on up. So 4 workers go down. The Adept, actually doesn't get out, but at least gets out of the main. And that's something that is far more than GunGFuBanDa should ever have got.
It is a lot more. It is a lot more damage than he was supposed to get there with just the 2 Adepts. Now, it's not game ending. It's not even that big of a deal, but it does put GunGFuBanDa into a really nice spot. He's going to start up his Twilight Council and Blink very quickly. That's, of course, going to be good, heading into the mid-game. It is a commitment to double Oracle here for ShaDoWn. There is a shield battery here, so the double Oracle is going to be, more valuable in general. ShaDoWn, hello? Stops moving the Oracle for a little bit. He's not going to take any hull damage. Oh, please keep moving. Jeez. Okay. He's got to stop doing that. He's giving me mild coronary events.
Well, it's okay, Steadfast. We don't need you to last that much longer. We're in the final day of groups. Just hold off on that heart attack hold up on the heart attack completing until about 5 o'clock this evening, and then we'll be okay. But for now, Oracles, they're just going to revelate. 2 Oracles, as you said, they do punch through the shield battery pretty nicely. But we're also in that state where GunGFuBanDa is going to have Stalkers in the main, and the natural ShaDoWn's going to have to wait a little bit. Really do what he did in game 1, where the first Oracle fight, he got, I think, 2 probes, not all that much. But then he was able to put pressure on the 3rd, and that was the moment he got 10, 12 probes and a fairly decent fight outside the 3rd base, and just really swung the game in his favor.
Yeah, I think it was 4 probes with the first Stalker, and put him into a good position overall. Not game winning yet, but in an absolutely notable lead. It was a nice start. GunGFuBanDa, this time he kind of put the shoe on the other foot. He's only up 2 probes now. It looks like ShaDoWn maybe a little bit more chrono boost into his own workers. Oh, Stasis Ward on the 3rd. That's kind of cute. It's really nice. So something I like to see is when you put the Stasis Ward a little bit further back, so that the probe triggers it and then blocks the Nexus. As it is, I think it might not actually block the Nexus.
It depends on how, I guess, the acceleration rate of the probe, right? Is a nice little scout here from ShaDoWn. He's going to find a pylon that will then get canceled because GunGFuBanDa knows that ShaDoWn knows that GunGFuBanDa knows that ShaDoWn knows that the pylon is there. But we're just moving into that mid-game stage steadfast. I mean, it is one of those interesting things where it kind of handshakes. Shield batteries are so strong in this matchup that it does feel hard to get aggressive. Certainly a 2-base versus 2-base. So ShaDoWn, he looks for the pylon. He says, okay, GunGFuBanDa, you canceled it. I'm really okay with that one. Blink will be done soon, so even any sort of blink timing is really not going to benefit GunGFuBanDa all that much. And now with the third base going down for ShaDoWn, there's a decision for GunGFuBanDa to make. Does he go and try to cancel that? Or does he go try to take his own? And it looks like he actually did get blocked on that nice spot. Well, no. Oh, yeah, no, he did. Okay, the probe just came off stasis. There we go. So, yeah, he's going to have to take the probe or take the third base at a less optimal position.
Yeah, it's a little less comfortable. It's not a huge deal, but I mean, it's less expected. The funny part is that ShaDoWn, he doesn't yet know where it is. He will be looking over on this left side. He's got to be a little bit careful. Okay, and even just seeing the stalkers right there should let him know. Ooh, Guardian Shield is going to get popped. There is a stasis ward here. Ooh, he blinks forward into it to bait it out, but the concave is a little bit better for ShaDoWn here, I think. Oh, as they kind of, maneuver around this pillar, it actually does get a little bit better for GunGFuBanDa. ShaDoWn, he's going to try and rotate around, might blink into the main base, but there's an observer spotting everything. That's an MVP observer right there for GunGFu.
That it is. And steadfast, the concave was much better for ShaDoWn, sure, but the Guardian Shield was much better for GunGFuBanDa. The Guardian Shield of ShaDoWn had, I don't know, maybe a third of his army. The Guardian Shield of GunGFu was covering his entire army, so that did make it... That's a lot of tankiness that you do add to those stalkers, and it was what allowed GunGFuBanDa to be able to push that back. But now third base for GunGFu is done. Same is true for ShaDoWn. ShaDoWn has had his third base a little bit longer, so any sort of worker differential now is in his favor, even with the adept pressure early on. Charge finishing up pretty soon for both players. +1 is the big difference, though. GunGFuBanDa, he's going to have a full, about a minute and a half of build time, where he has +1, his opponent does not, and that may be a timing he's looking to hit. Again, 3-base, shield batteries, all these fun things. It is really hard to break a 3-base Protoss in this situation, certainly when we're only looking at like +1 blink stalkers.
Yeah, certainly it is. But I think GunGFuBanDa, I kind of talked about it before. He loves that, as I like to say, Protoss bio. He is going to be committing to a very heavy charge lot Archon stalker setup, whereas we've got ShaDoWn, who has done this throughout the series and throughout most of his PvPs, went all the way up to 6 gases, added on more tech. He's got that Dark Shrine on the way. No, disruptor tech just yet. Actually, hold that thought. We are going to see a bit of a push coming on forward. But ShaDoWn, got to be careful, especially pushing through these shrubs kind of blindly. Ooh, big blink forward coming in from GunGFu. ShaDoWn, he's really got to play it safe here.
That was never a fight he was going to really want to take. He's down upgrades, he's down army supply, he's down complexity in that army. There were a lot of charge lots for GunGFuBanDa and just blink stalkers for ShaDoWn. But this game goes long enough, eventually you say, okay, look, there's no higher level tech, and finally we're starting to see a second robo, all those fun things. Actually, but that might even be the first robo. What it means now is he does get a lot of DTs fairly quickly. We saw that work really well for him in game 1, and then GunGFuBanDa is going to look to run forward, but there are stasis traps here. 3 stalkers not really as part of the fight. Zealots looking to run on forward, but there are like 3 battle lines here for ShaDoWn as he's just slowly blinking backwards into the safe confines of his shield batteries. Archon now starting to fall, but GunGFuBanDa sensing blood, saying, I want to make something happen here, but the only blood in the water is his own. He's really not, this fight is not working out all that well for him. He's going to have an upgrade lead. +2 is now done, but he hit before that. And this 4th base, at least for the moment for ShaDoWn, should stay alive. His Dark Shrine's done. DT blink about halfway there. We're eventually going to see some significant harass potential coming out from the Frenchman.
Yeah, that was a pretty brutal anti-timing right there from GunGFuBanDa. You mentioned it, his +2 finished up like 10 seconds after the fight concluded. He still does have a lot of kill potential here. He's got that +2 timing now, and ShaDoWn did not start his +2 for a while. But this was a bit of a missed opportunity here from GunGFuBanDa, and he might end up kicking himself. Now, ShaDoWn is still in a lot of trouble. Like I said, he's down in upgrades. He's not feeling the most comfortable. The 4th base of GunGFu is on the way now, and you mentioned the harass potential. Well, DT Blink is done, and these 5 DTs are going to try and move into the natural expansion. They will be able to get a lot done. This could actually be a bit of a base trade right here. Uh-oh.
it's a bit of a base trade, but it does feel like ShaDoWn has first mover's advantage. Oh, good probe pull though, but they're not defending the pylon, so it doesn't even matter. Steadfast. Oh, good stasis trap there as well. But ShaDoWn is not going to opt to kill the base. Instead, he says, I got to go back home. I got to defend my own, but I feel like I would have preferred, you know, him actually killing that base, because then at least he would trade 1 for 1. But it does seem like the DTs are finding a lot of value here. More and more charge loss are warping in. It's a bit of a force field right now with those stasis, making it hard for the Zealots to get on top of things. ShaDoWn gently microing backwards. There are so many stasis traps that he's just trying to bait him into, and there's a wall of Zealots that GunGFuBanDa really will not be able to get past right now. So Archons are going to go down as ShaDoWn blinks forward here. He's trying to get on top of that Warp Prism, doing what he can. Meanwhile, the DTs on the other side of the map, they have killed the natural of GunGFuBanDa here. So it's a base for a base right now. Big worker lead for ShaDoWn as he blinks for his life, microing so damn hard, but Zealots on the backside, the stasis traps, they time out. The fight has been going so long now that the stasis fight times out. The Zealots will force this to not happen, but the Warp Prism goes down at the end of the day. ShaDoWn at the end of things, in the balance of things, Steadfast, he puts himself in a massive lead.
He really, really does. He almost got this Forge, actually, in the main base. Ooh, can he recall on out? Oh, he saves the 2 DTs into an Archon, gets some value off of that harassment. That was so good for ShaDoWn. He had a single DT absolutely going to town on GunGFuBanDa's army, and now GunGfu, he is really in trouble here. He is going to push this army back, but he is down 20 workers. He is down a fair bit of army supply. More DTs going to warp in here for ShaDoWn. He is going to push across the map. You mentioned the natural expansion died here. Of course, the third base for ShaDoWn was killed, but he rebuilt it. His opponent did not rebuild his natural. There also is a Disruptor Warren. There's the Robotics Bay done, so ShaDoWn can start going into disruptors, and he's already got one on the field.
Although I don't know whether... Oh my God!
Oh, that blink forward into the stasis ward. Oh no, that is a disaster right there.
Oh man, it's a disaster and a half, but it looks like ShaDoWn actually will not be able to punish that all that hard, but that just means there are a lot of stalkers that cannot defend, cannot react to these blink DTs at all, so 11 more workers do fall. I do wonder though, whether ShaDoWn remembers that he has a disruptor, because I think it's still in the main base. Yeah, it's not hotkeyed. He has forgotten about it. Hopefully he remembers that eventually. You do need those rotating, spinny balls of doom. But I gotta point out, and I know we've been talking about it as the game goes on, but I think we need to explicitly point out how consistently good ShaDoWn's stasis trap usage has been this entire series, but particularly this game. He is making it such a pain to push into him whatsoever. He built force fields out of it. He has knocked down a full third of GunGFuBanDa's army before. And GunGFuBanDa now, he's got to be just so careful about how he looks to move in. Now, the Stalkers here are in the natural, what used to be the natural of GunGFuBanDa. And the one thing we got to point out is ShaDoWn looks to get aggressive with these Stalkers. He does not have +3 on the way. It's not even been started, but he's just baiting him around the map. He says, yeah, I'm going to rotate over with my army. That sounds like fun. Here, yeah, go. Defend that. Meanwhile, 14 more workers go down, 68 probes to 24. GunGFuBanDa, his economy is in shambles, and we're starting to get to the point where I don't even know that it matters, that the army for GunGFuBanDa is simply better, as finally ShaDoWn has remembered that he is a disruptor. Well, actually, no, he doesn't. He lost it pretty quickly.
He has one Zealot and it goes down, but yeah, as long as ShaDoWn trades reasonably well, he's actually got a pretty decent concave right now. Blink forward coming in from GunGfu just to let his Zealots into the fight. The thing is, GunGFuBanDa needs to win this fight so incredibly hard in order to even have a chance of snowballing this game, and he is getting some good pickoffs, but like you said, the stasis ward usage is just covering ShaDoWn so well, and GunGfu, he is being forced to blink like individual units. Oh, that's a big stasis ward, and that will take a lot of DPS out of this army. Battery overcharge going to allow ShaDoWn to hold, and this is looking so good. Huge revelation. He's going to grab 3 observers with that. No detection now for the DTs. And just like that, GG gets called.